Good morning, students. How are you? I think all of you are enjoying good health. Students, in the previous class, I completed exercise 8D, which means we completed chapter 8. Today I am going to start a new chapter, that is chapter 9, lines and angles. So first see these definitions or these terms on page 152. In class 6 we learnt about some basic geometrical terms. Let us recall that. All these terms you have already studied in class 6. So students, again I am explaining these terms. First term is plane. A plane is a flat surface that extends infinitely in all directions. It has length and breadth but no thickness. Suppose this is a page. This is also a flat surface. This flat surface, or we can call it a plane. A plane surface C extends infinitely in all directions and it has length and breadth but no thickness. Next is point. A point marks an exact location in a place. Suppose I am marking this point. This is a point. It has no length, breadth and thickness. A point has no breadth, no length, no thickness. It is represented by a dot. It is represented by a dot. This is a dot and we call it point and named with a capital letter. A point is always denoted by a capital letter. See here, it is written capital X. We can call it point P. We can call it point X. We can call it point A. Any letter we can give it. Next is line segment. What is line segment? A line segment is the shortest straight path between two points in a plane. It has two endpoints and a definite length. It is denoted by the symbol, this one. This is symbol and named with two capital letters or by a single small letter. Suppose I am marking these 2 points and I am joining this one. This is a line segment, and if I am giving these 2 points name AB, either we can give 2 capital letters or we can also give a small letter. Suppose I have written here A. This is line segment AB. If I am write like this, then we will put a mark like this, or if I am writing this A, I will put again this mark. This mark, this symbol shows line segment. Clear? And line segment has 2 endpoints. See here, it has 2 endpoints and a definite length. Its length is definite, fixed length, and it has 2 endpoints. Out of these 2, we can call this one as a starting point, this one is ending point. And it has fixed length. This is line segment. Next, line. See here, when we extend the 2 endpoints of a line segment in both the direction, we get a line. When we extend or we produce the two endpoints of a line segment, these are the 2 endpoints of a line segment. If you produce them like this and like this in both the direction, then it will become a line like this. And a line has 2 arrows. It has 2 endpoints and there are infinite points on a line. A line has no endpoint. See here, what is the difference between line segment? A line segment has two endpoints, but a line has no endpoint, thus no definite length. It is denoted by the symbol this one. If we want to, suppose I have drawn this line, I have put like this, and I am writing like this A, B, and then I am putting this symbol. It shows a line. This symbol shows a line, and this symbol shows a line segment. See here, there is no symbol, no arrow, and in line, in both the direction there is arrow. So line segment has definite length, line has infinite length. Line segment has two endpoints, a line has no endpoint. It can be extended endlessly in both the direction. This arrow shows that we can extend it in this direction and in this direction also. Next is ray. A ray is a part of line with a fixed starting point and continues endlessly in the other direction. What is a ray? Ray is a part of a line. This ray is a part of line. Suppose I am marking this point and like this. See all these. Here two endpoints, no arrow. Here two arrows in both the direction arrows. Here in only in one direction there is arrow. This is its starting point. So a ray has one starting point, or we can say one end point, and one arrow. It means this ray can be extended only in one direction, in this direction. And again we can give it name. Suppose A, B, X, Y. We can give any letter. We can write any letter P, Q. Then it will be written as P, Q, and like this. So how can we identify whether it is given a line segment or line or array? See, I am writing here all three same. Here I am putting this symbol. Here I am putting this symbol. Here I am putting this symbol. See here, one arrow, in both the direction arrow, no arrow. So it is a ray, it is line, and it is line segment. In line segment there are two endpoints. In line, no endpoints. In ray, one endpoint. Ray can be extended or can be produced in one direction. Line can be produced in both the direction, or we can say a line has infinite length, and in line segment its length is fixed. Clear? Now come to angle. An angle is formed when two lines or line segments or rays meet at a common point. Suppose this is a line segment and this is a line segment, and these two line segments meet at this point. Then an angle is formed. An angle is formed when two lines or line segments or rays meet at a common point. If we put here arrow, then it becomes two rays. Clear? The point where the two lines or line segment or rays meet is called the vertex of the angle. This point where these two rays meet each other, this point is known as vertex. Vertex of the angle. This is an angle formed, and this point is the vertex of the angle. We can put any name here. O is the vertex. See in the figure. This point is the vertex. Here we have written X, O, Y. So point O is the vertex. Two lines or line segments or rays that form the angle are called its arms. These two, if there is arrow, then these are rays. If it is like this, there is no arrow, then these are known as line segment. So these line segment or these rays are known as arms of the angle. They are known as arms of the angle. If I am writing, suppose I am writing it A, B, C, then name of the arm will be AB and BC. These are the arms. And which point is the vertex? Vertex is point B. We can give any name. Suppose I am writing here P, Q, R. Then which are the arms? What are the arms? PQ and QR. These are two arms of the angle. And which point is vertex? Q is vertex. Clear? Now see here, students. There is one minor mistake. If you see, I have not mentioned the ray or line segment. If we are writing these arms, then this is PQ. PQ. I have to show this symbol, whether it is ray or mark. See, I am now writing this QP and this QR. Then I am putting this symbol. It means this is a ray. QP is a ray, QR is another ray. These two rays meet each other at point Q, which is vertex. If I am writing it PQ like this, it is wrong. Why? See here, arrow is at P point, not at Q point. From Q point, ray is starting. So we will put arrow in this direction with P. If we are writing PQ, it means ray is starting from point P and it is going in this direction, Q direction. While ray is starting from Q and it is going in this direction, in the direction of P. So be careful when we write the arms and put the direction. If we show arms of this angle is AB and BC. Here we can write AB and BC because there is no arrow. But we have to put the symbol of line segment. Here two line segments are meeting each other at this point B. This is angle ABC. Now an angle is denoted by the symbol this one. When we have to write angle, then in place of writing angle, spelling of angle, we can put this sign like this. A small sign of angle like this. Clear? And named with either one capital letter or one small letter or three capital letters of the English alphabet. Here the angle is O. See students here. I am drawing one angle here. Suppose this, I am giving its name XOY. So we can write angle XOY, angle only by this vertex, angle O. Clear? Or we can write angle, we start from one corner, from one point, XOY, in this shape, XOY. Or we can start from this side also. We can write angle YOX. All these three are correct. Then the unit used for measuring an angle is called degree and its symbol is this one. Unit for measuring angle is degree and this degree is shown as like this. Suppose angle is 50 degree, then we will write 50 like this degree. 60 degree like this. 60 degree. Clear? Now types of angles. See here, 6 types of angle are given here. First is acute angle. Measurement of acute angle is between 0 and 90, means greater than 0 but less than 90. Right angle is always for 90 degree. Obtuse angle is between 90 and 180. Means greater than 90 and less than 180. Straight angle is 180 degree. Complete angle is 360 degree. Complete angle means one round. Then reflex angle between 180 and 360 means greater than 180 and less than 360. How we draw these angles? Already you have learnt in class 6. This is only to recall, to revise. Now come to these angles. More about angles, pairs of angles. See, first is adjacent angles. Adjacent, there are a few pairs of angles that satisfy some important properties. First is adjacent angles. What are adjacent angles? Adjacent angles are a pair of angles which lie next to one another and have a common arm, a common vertex, the non-common arms located on either side or opposite side of the common arm. See here. Here in this figure, there are again I am drawing again. See, this is one angle POR. Clear? And I am drawing one more angle from the same vertex. Its arms are PO and OR. These are the arms of this angle and its vertex is O. I am drawing again one more angle from this vertex like this. I have written here Q. Now there are two angles. First angle is POR, this one, and other angle is ROQ, this one. These are two angles. In these two angles, students see this line segment. This line segment is for both the angles. If we take first angle POR, this line segment is part of this angle also. If we read this angle ROQ, then this line segment RO is also a part of this angle. So one arm is common. This is first condition, a common arm. Then what is second condition? A common vertex. See, this is the common vertex. This vertex is for first angle and for second angle. Both the angles have same vertex, O. Then third is non-common arms. Which are non-common arms? This is common arm because this arm is continuing. This arm consists both the angles. This arm and this arm. These are two non-common arms located on either side of the common arm or opposite side. These two arms should be on the opposite side of common arm. One is in this side, other is in this side. So these are the adjacent angles. Now come to complementary angles. What are complementary angles? When the sum of the measures of two angles is equal to 90, the pair of angles are called complementary angles. They may or may not be adjacent angles. Suppose, see here, I have drawn here two angles. This is for 60 degree and other angle is for, this one is 30 degree. Suppose, if we add these two measurements, 60 degree plus 30 degree, it is 90 degree. So these two angles are complementary angles. If the if the sum of the measurement of two angles is 90 degree, then they are known as complementary angles. They may be adjacent angles or not, or they may or may not be adjacent angles. See here, these two angles are separately, but their sum is 90 degrees, so they are complementary. But if we draw like this, see, this is 40 degree angle and this is 50 degree angle. Sum of these two angle is 90. They are complementary angle, but they are adjacent also. Why? This is a common arm. This arm is for this angle 50 degree and this for this 40 also. Both these angles have common vertex, and their non-common arm. Which are non-common are this arm and this arm. Both are on opposite side. One is in this side and other is in this side. So if the sum of the measurement of two angle is 90 degree, then they are known as complementary angles. They may or may not be adjacent angles. If two angles are complementary, then each angle is said to be the complement of the other angle. This angle is the complement angle of for this one, and this angle is the complement angle of this one. In the same way, there is one more type of angle, supplementary angles. When the sum of measure of two angle is equal to 180, the pair of angles are called supplementary angles. They may or may not be adjacent angles. If two angles are supplementary, then each angle is said to be the supplement of the other angle. See, I have drawn this one angle 40 degree and one more angle, this one. This one is 140 degree. If we add these two measurements, we get 180 degree. 140 degree plus 40 degree. This is 180 degree. So if the sum of the measurement of two angle is 180 degree, then they are known as supplement angle, and both the angles are called supplementary angle of each other. This angle is supplementary angle for this one, and this angle is supplementary angle for this one. And they, in the same way, supplementary angles may or may not be adjacent angle. Here both the angles are separate, but if we say like this is a straight angle 180 degree, and if I have drawn this line, suppose this is 60 degree and this is 120 degree, then again sum of these two angle is 180, and they are adjacent also because this is common arm. This arm is for this angle and for this angle both. This is common vertex and non-common arms on opposite side. So supplementary angles may or may not be adjacent. Next is linear pair. A pair of angles that are adjacent form a straight line and whose sum is equal to 180 are called a linear pair. Angles in a linear pair are supplementary. Linear pair means a pair of angles that are adjacent form a straight angle. When these are supplementary angles and they form adjacent angle, then they are linear pair. We can say these two angles linear pair also. In a linear pair, sum of angle is again 180 degree. Now vertically opposite angles. When two lines intersect or meet each other at a point, pair of angles form opposite to each other at the common vertex. These angles are called vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles so formed are equal. Students, see, when two lines intersect each other, suppose this one line and this one is another line. Two lines intersect each other. Two lines, I am saying two lines. It means lines means we have to put arrow. Then they are lines. Otherwise they are line segment. Then there are four angles formed. See, one angle, this one is second angle, this one is third angle, and this one is fourth angle. Four angles are formed. In these four angles, angles opposite to each other. Which angle is opposite to 1? This one is 3. Opposite means सामने, एक दूसरे के आमने सामने. With एंगल 1 और एंगल 3 ये दोनों एक दूसरे के आमने सामने हैं. एंगल 2 एंड एंगल 4 ये दोनों एक दूसरे के आमने सामने हैं. इनकी मेजरमेंट इक्वल होती है. अब वर्टिकली अपोजिट एंगल्स आर इक्वल. सपोज it is given that measurement of angle 1 is 40 degree, then measurement of angle 3 is also 40 degree. Vertically opposite angles are always equal. When two lines intersect each other, then four angles are formed. See here, when two lines intersect or meet each other at a point, a pair of angles formed opposite to each other at the common vertex. These are vertically opposite angle. If this angle is 140 degree, which angle is opposite to it? 4. It is also 140 degree. So vertically opposite angles are always equal. Again, always remember vertically opposite means एक दूसरे के आमने सामने. These angles. Clear, students? So students, today I explained all these terms and more about angles. In 6th standard, you studied only about these type of angle. These ones. In 7th standard, I explained you adjacent angles, complementary angles, supplementary angles, linear pair, vertically opposite angles. And you are looking that I have underlined so many lines. You will also underline these lines in your book. Clear? You will not write these lines in your notebook. Only you have to underline in your book. Today I have only explained you these terms. Students, read these terms, these angles at least 2 or 3 times. I am not explaining today. It's exercise 9A. I will explain this one in the next class. If you read this material 2 or 3 times, only then you will be able to understand this exercise. Otherwise, it will be difficult to understand these angles. And if you are not able to understand these angles, then it will be more difficult to understand this exercise 9B. It is totally new for you. Okay, students? So I hope you will read the given underlines at least 2-3 times. Read it again and again. Okay? So thank you, students. Have a nice day and read the given work 2-3 times. Again, I am telling you again and again to read this material 2 or 3 times. Okay, students. Thank you.